All right, so you wanted to get into luxury, right?
Yeah, let's dive in.
We've got some super interesting stuff here from the Business of Fashion. They and McKinsey put out this report, The State of Fashion Luxury,
All right.
hot off the press, January 2025 edition. And we also have some snippets from an interview with Prada's CEO, Andrea Guerra,
Oh, cool.
which should be interesting to hear his perspective on things.
Yeah, definitely a fascinating time for the industry. I think a real turning point.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's jump right in.
All right.
One thing that the report really paints a picture of is this kind of roller coaster ride that the luxury market's been on.
Okay.
They said from 2019 to 2023, it was booming, like 5% annual growth fueled by price increases and just a surge in Chinese shoppers. I mean, everyone was buying luxury.
Right, and then 2024 hit and things slowed down.
Yeah, they said it's the first decline in value creation since 2016.
Yeah, well, except for 2020, of course.
Right, right. 2020 was a weird year.
Pandemic threw everything off.
Totally. But here's a stat that really surprised me. Even with that slowdown, economic profit in the luxury industry nearly tripled between 2019 and 2024.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Those high spenders are really holding strong.
So that's the ultra high net worth individuals, the UHNWIs as they call them, and then the high net worth individuals, the HNWIs.
Yeah, basically carrying the market on their very well-dressed shoulders.
Exactly. So if they're the ones driving this growth, does that mean that their shopping habits are changing too?
I think it does.
Yeah.
One of the big shifts the report highlights is this move towards experiential luxury. It's not just about owning that latest handbag or watch anymore. It's about having these really unique experiences that create lasting memories.
Oh, so it's cooler now to talk about that private wine tour you took in Tuscany than it is to show off your new designer shoes.
Maybe. I think so. But in a way, I kind of get that. It's about more than just the stuff. It's about what you do and who you do it with.
Yeah, but what's driving this whole shift toward experiential luxury?
Well, I think it comes down to this idea that in a world where everyone's constantly connected, time is the ultimate luxury.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Having these truly unique curated experiences, whether it's an incredible trip or a personalized wellness program, that's what people are craving. The report actually said that about 80% of HNWIs expect to shift at least some of their spending towards these experiences.
Wow, that's huge. So are brands keeping up with this trend?
I think some are doing a better job than others. The Equinox Group is a great example. They've expanded way beyond gyms.
Oh, yeah.
Now they have this full-fledged luxury lifestyle brand with spas, hotels, and even a $40,000 per year personalized wellness program called Optimize.
Wait, 40,000? What do you even get for that? A personal chef that follows you around with kale chips.
Well, it includes a personal concierge, a trainer, a nutritionist, a sleep coach.
Oh, wow.
You get blood tests and personalized health data.
Okay, so next level. It just shows you how much people are willing to invest in these kinds of tailored experiences. But it makes me wonder, with brands rapidly scaling up to meet this demand, are they sacrificing some of those core values that luxury is supposed to be all about?
That's a really good point. And the report actually touches on that. It highlights this growing sense that as brands have grown really quickly, some customers feel like the exclusivity, the craftsmanship, the quality they associate with luxury has been diluted.
Yeah.
Kind of like that band you love that suddenly everyone knows and it just doesn't feel as special anymore.
Oh, yeah, totally. I get that. And the report said that 80% of UHNWIs are actively seeking out new niche brands. So are they just over the big players now?
It seems like they are. They're craving something more exclusive, more unique.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the products themselves. The report found that 36% of luxury customers believe the in-store experience has actually gotten worse in recent years.
What? Really?
They complain about generic service, a lack of personalized attention.
But isn't personalized service like the hallmark of luxury? What's going on?
It seems like some brands have lost sight of those core values that made them special in the first place.
Yeah.
And they're struggling to keep up with these evolving consumer preferences.
So we've got this boom in experiential luxury, but at the same time, this sense that some of the traditional promises of luxury are falling short. So what does this all mean for the future of the market?
It's a complex landscape for sure, but the report does offer some insights into who this new luxury consumer is and what they want.
Okay, let's break that down. Who is this new luxury consumer?
Well, first we need to remember that those UHNWIs and HNWIs are still the powerhouses of the market. They're projected to account for something like 65% to 80% of growth through 2027, so brands can't afford to ignore them.
Right, but they also can't just focus on the ultra-wealthy, right?
Exactly. There's also this growing segment of aspirational shoppers who are kind of starting to dip their toes into the luxury market.
So they're more price-sensitive, but they still want that luxury experience.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that they're not just chasing trends. The report found that they're increasingly looking for durable, timeless pieces that will last. They understand the value of investing in quality.
That makes sense, especially with the growing awareness of sustainability and mindful consumption.
Absolutely. It's a shift away from fast fashion towards a more considered approach to building a wardrobe.
Okay, so I'm curious to hear what Prada's CEO, Andrea Guerra, has to say about all this. The report featured some of his insights, and I'm wondering what his take is on this luxury slowdown.
Yeah, well, he had some interesting things to say. He attributes part of the slowdown to this over-reliance on leather goods. A lot of brands have been pushing those iconic handbags, and he argues that this focus has come at the expense of other categories.
So basically, they need to diversify.
Yeah, that's his point. They can't just rely on one or two hero products. They need to create a wider range of things that people want.
What else did he say?
Well, he also pointed out that a lot of brands have essentially abandoned their aspirational customers with these extreme price hikes. They've focused so much on the ultra-wealthy that they've alienated a whole segment of potential buyers.
Ouch. Yeah, that seems like a big mistake.
It is. And Guerra emphasized that to navigate this shift, luxury brands need to get back to basics. They need to focus on creating products that make people dream, that reignite that emotional connection.
He's talking about that sense of wonder and aspiration that luxury used to be all about, right? Like you have to have that piece.
Exactly. It's about offering something truly special, something that goes beyond just a logo or a status symbol.
And what about the whole customer relationship aspect? We talked about how some people feel like the in-store experience has declined. What does Garrett say about that?
Yeah, he's really clear about how important it is to focus on those customer relationships. Creating personalized experiences, building genuine connections with customers. He sees that as key to navigating this whole changing landscape.
So it's not enough to just offer amazing products. You have to make those human connections too.
Exactly. And that's where the report's recommendations come in. It offers some concrete steps that brands can take to kind of regain their footing and thrive in this evolving market.
Okay. I'm all ears. What's the secret sauce? What do they need to do?
Well, they outline this five-pronged approach. So they say brands need to conduct a strategic reset, restore product excellence, rethink customer engagement, bridge the talent capability gap, and future-proof the portfolio.
5. Well, okay, I think we have time to at least unpack a couple of those. Let's start with the strategic reset. What does that actually entail?
It basically means going back to their core values, identifying their priority customers, and ensuring that their price matches the perceived value of their products.
So it's like taking stock of where they are now and figuring out where they want to go.
Exactly. And then restoring product excellence. This means investing in those iconic products that made them famous, making sure they have sustainable supply chains, and prioritizing craftsmanship.
So back to those core values of luxury, right? Quality, exclusivity, that kind of thing. What about rethinking customer engagement? We talked about the rise of experiential luxury, so I'm assuming that plays a big part.
It does. They say luxury brands need to offer more than just a transaction. They need to create these money-can't-buy experiences both in and outside of stores. And using data to personalize the customer journey is really important.
So understanding what your customer wants, maybe even before they know they want it. What about these last two? Bridging in the talent capability gap and future-proofing the portfolio. What do those even mean?
Well, bridging the talent capability gap is about attracting and retaining top talent, not just in design and marketing, but across all areas of the business.
So you need the right people to execute this new vision of luxury.
Exactly. And then future-proofing the portfolio means thinking beyond just those core product categories,
I like maybe branching out into things like luxury travel and hospitality, given that growing interest in experiential luxury.
That's one way to do it. Yeah. It's about deepening customer engagement and offering a more holistic luxury lifestyle.
Whoa, this is fascinating. I have to say, all this talk about the future of luxury is really interesting to me. But I'm curious, with this rising interest in experiential luxury and this growing concern about ethical production, could the future of luxury actually lie in offering these highly curated, sustainable travel experiences?
That's a really intriguing idea. You're essentially talking about shifting from a luxury that's defined by ownership to one that's defined by access and impact.
Access to these incredible experiences and impact on the planet and local communities. I mean, that's kind of blowing my mind.
It is. It's moving towards a more conscious and meaningful definition of luxury.
And it actually aligns with what we were talking about earlier, with time being the ultimate luxury. By offering these kinds of experiences, brands could really be tapping into that desire for something truly special, something that enriches not just your own life, but the world around you.
It's luxury with a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's a concept that would resonate with a lot of people, especially younger, more conscious consumers.
Okay, so we're going to have to dive into that idea further, but first let's take a quick break and then come back and unpack this even more. So, luxury with a purpose, like it seems like such a natural evolution given everything that we've
Yeah,
talked about.
it really does. And what's fascinating is how this idea of sustainable luxury travel,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
could really help these brands stand out.
Yeah.
In a crowded market, it's about offering something that's so much more than, just a fancy hotel or designer handbag.
Right, it's about these truly immersive experiences that are both luxurious and responsible, right?
Exactly. Think about it. You could have a travel experience that takes you to, these breathtaking destinations, but also immerses you in the local culture,
Right.
supports sustainable initiatives, minimizes its footprint.
Wow, that would be amazing. But it sounds like it would take a lot of planning and a deep understanding of those local communities.
Yeah, for sure. That's where that whole strategic reset and focus on talent comes in, right? Brands would need to build these teams that have the expertise and the passion to create those kinds of experiences. And of course, they'd have to be totally transparent about their sustainability efforts.
No greenwashing allowed.
Yeah, exactly. Consumers are smart. They can see right through that. But, this whole idea of sustainable luxury travel, it speaks to something even bigger that's happening right now.
I'm listening. What are you thinking?
With this slowdown that we're seeing and, all these shifting consumer preferences, I'm wondering if we're actually witnessing like a fundamental redefinition of what luxury even means. Like luxury is at a crossroads right now.
It's true. It's like those traditional notions of luxury are being challenged and kind of reshaped.
Right. So which path luxury takes next depends on how brands respond to these challenges and how they adapt to, the evolving needs and values of their customers.
Do you think it's possible that we'll see a move away from like materialism altogether?
Hmm. It's hard to say for sure, but, one thing is clear. There's a growing desire for experiences, for connection, for purpose.
Maybe that's the new luxury.
It could be. You brought up some really insightful ideas today.
Thanks. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me. I feel like I have such a better understanding of the luxury market now,
Me too.
from, that roller coaster ride of growth and decline to the rise of experiential luxury and these cracks in luxury's traditional promise.
And those really insightful thoughts from Prada's CEO, Andrea Guerra.
Right. His perspective was so fascinating. He really highlighted how brands need to adapt to this changing landscape. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to this whole idea of redefining luxury. What do you think are like the key factors that will shape the future of luxury?
I think, as we've been talking about, it's not just about, material possessions anymore. It's about these intangible elements, those
Yeah.
experiences, connections, purpose.
Right.
And I think sustainability is going to play a more and more important role.
Sure.
Consumers are demanding transparency and accountability from these brands. Those that don't prioritize ethical and sustainable practices,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be left behind. It's not enough to just be luxurious.
Yeah,
You have to be responsible too.
absolutely. And what about the role of technology? I feel like that's going to be a major factor in shaping the future of luxury, especially when it comes to creating those personalized experiences.
Oh, definitely. Using data to understand your customers, better anticipate their needs, and tailor those experiences, to their individual preferences. That's where technology really comes in.
Right. But even with all this technology, it seems like that human element is still the most important factor. Luxury brands need to remember they're ultimately selling emotions, connections, a sense of belonging.
That's a crucial point. Creating those human touch points that make people feel special is something that technology just can't replicate. It requires genuine human interaction and a deep understanding of the customer's needs.
So it sounds like the future of luxury is going to be this delicate balance between the tangible and the intangible, the material and the experiential, the technological and the human.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a complex and dynamic landscape, but it's also full of opportunity for those brands that are willing to, adapt and innovate.
Well said. This
Yeah.
has been a truly fascinating deep dive.
It really has. It's raised some important questions about the future of luxury. I bet you'll be thinking about this for a while.
I know I will.
Yeah.
But as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listener with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay, I'm all ears.
What if the future of luxury isn't about buying less, but about buying better?
Choosing quality over quantity, experiences over possessions, purpose over status. I love that.
Yeah, and supporting those brands that are actually aligned with your values.
Yeah.
It's a powerful idea, and I think it could lead to a more sustainable and fulfilling future for, both luxury brands and their customers.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
completely agree. That's a perfect note to end on.
Until our next deep dive.
Yeah, it really makes you think about, the power we have as consumers to actually shape the market.
Oh, absolutely. Every purchase is a vote, for the kind of world that we want to live in.
Hmm.
It's about being mindful and making choices that align with, our values.
This deep dive has definitely inspired me to think differently about, you know, my own luxury choices.
Yeah,
It's not just about, understanding the market. It's about using that knowledge to make more, informed and conscious decisions.
exactly. It's about being an active and engaged consumer.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered so much ground in this
Mm.
deep dive.
Yeah, we have.
We explored the current state of the luxury market,
Yeah.
the challenges it's facing, those evolving needs of consumers.
We even talked about some potential paths forward for brands.
Right, like that idea of sustainable luxury travel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still thinking about that.
I know, me too. It's so fascinating. I always learn so much from these deep dives.
Me too. That's what we aim for.
To spark your curiosity and give you
Yeah.
the knowledge to kind of navigate these complex industries.
Well, mission accomplished. I feel like I have a much deeper understanding of the luxury landscape now.
Yeah.
But as you said, these deep dives are just the starting point.
They are. It's
Yeah.
up to you to, continue exploring and to see where your own curiosity leads you.
So to our listener, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into those topics that fascinate you.
Yeah, who knows? You might just uncover some, fascinating insights of your own. The world is full of hidden treasures just waiting to be discovered.
That's so true. All right, until our next deep dive.
See you then?